Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies Blood of the Dead video. So within today's video, I wanted to give you guys an early walkthrough of Blood of the Dead in real life. I did say within my video, which I did for Voyage of Despair, which is obviously going to be set on the Titanic, I gave you guys an in real life walkthrough of the Titanic so that you're ready for when the map releases on October the 12th. Well, I thought I would do something similar for all of the other maps, so within today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys an in real life walkthrough of Alcatraz. Now, Jason Blundell has already said that Blood of the Dead is going to be 30 to 35% larger than the original Mob of the Dead. If you're unaware, Treyarch actually visited Alcatraz prior to going to Mob of the Dead, and they literally scaled out all of the rooms and all of the measurements. They even went up to one of the trees and recorded audio of the tree creaking, which they actually used on the map. So they went to the in real life location and they had actually built the entirety of Alcatraz within the original Mob of the Dead, but due to hardware limitations and stuff like that, it was a bit overkill, so they had to cut the map down and make it a lot smaller. However, within the new version of Mob of the Dead, the remake of Mob of the Dead, which is obviously Blood of the Dead, now featuring the Primus crew, the map is going to be 30 to 35% larger. Now, we are going to be able to access the secret laboratory built by Stanley Ferguson and the Illuminati, instructed by Richtofen, with the Victus crew within their cryogenic chambers too, and we are actually going to be able to access the entire other side of the Alcatraz prison that we were not able to access within the original Alcatraz. And it seems from the intro cutscene that we got, we are also going to be able to access the docks, which obviously featured PhD Flopper as well as Mule Kick on, so maybe those perks may be available now. And from the recent leaked information, it seems like we will actually spawn in within the secret laboratory underneath Alcatraz, where the cryostasis chambers are, featuring the Victus crew, and when you open the first door, it will reveal that you're on a side of the prison that was not in the original. There is a path from the cryostasis lab over to the docks, which seem like they're going to be accessible now, which was obviously by where the original Juggernog location was within the original Mob of the Dead. So I'm very, very excited for this map. We do not know if Afterlife is returning and stuff like that, but yeah, without further ado, I'll just leave you guys with the in real life walkthrough of Alcatraz. Now, this footage is actually by a guy called Nomadic Fanatic, so I will leave a link to his channel down in this video's description. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. But with the map now being what Treyarch originally wanted for Mob of the Dead and being the full scale of Alcatraz, you're going to see from this that it is almost identical to Mob of the Dead. The rooms, such as the cafeteria and stuff like that, the rooms are literally identical to the actual Alcatraz. And yeah, I'm excited for this map. So anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Black Ops 4 Zombies news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching and enjoy.
Basically, it says, warning, persons procuring or concealing escape of prisoners are subject to prosecution and imprisonment. Ooh.
Do not run when moving from one place to another.
I'm Pat Mahoney, former Alcatraz correctional officer, and I'll be your guide. I served 7 years on the Rock. These first photos introduce some of my fellow officers.
I am Philip Bergen, Captain of the Guards, United States Penitentiary, Alcatraz, California.
Well, my name is George DeVincenzi. I used to play checkers with Robert Stroud. I don't think I ever beat him.
My name is Ronald Battles. I asked whether they hired blacks out there. You know how it was in the 50s.
Yeah, my name is Leon Whitey Thompson. My number was 1465. I was a man that had total hatred in them days. I hated anything that walked or crawled on this earth. I was a man who was dead inside. You couldn't hurt me no more, see?
I'm John Banner. My Alcatraz number was 1133. I'm a thief, you know. I ended up about number 17 or something like that on the most wanted.
You were a number, you weren't a name. You want to be a human. I wasn't Jim Quill, and hell, I was number 586. Number, you weren't a name. Everybody wants to be an individual. They want to be a human. And you weren't at the Rock.
My name is Darwin Kuhn, number 1422. Figured I'm never going to get out. Yeah, I'm going to sit right here until I die.
Walk through the cutoff. The Alcatraz cell house opened as a federal prison in 1934. Within these walls lived the country's toughest, most dangerous, and most famous prisoners. As soon as you exit the cutoff, immediately turn right onto the next corridor. It's called Broadway. Broadway was the first stop for arriving prisoners.
We went right down Broadway, you know, in our birthday suits. And all the guys, you know, howling and
Well, here's a typical Alcatraz cell. Every one of them in the cell house is exactly alike.
I had a metal tabletop and a little chair there, and that was about it. The cell was pretty barren.
5 feet wide, 9 feet long, and 7 feet high. And that's what I call a little box.
No decorations allowed, anything. Couldn't paste anything on the wall.
Waiting on the bed for each new prisoner was a copy of the official rules and regulations.
This is the rules of the cell house. Your cell is subject to search at any time.
Your towel had to be folded up and put on your shelf. Your toothbrush, and they used to give us tooth powder in little green containers.
I guess like a cockroach feels in a matchbox.
You may smoke in your cell, in the library.
We were issued a pack of wings on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. Every inmate, whether he smoked or not.
Sweep your cell and place the trash in the trash
I
bin.
knew every mark, everything in that cell. And pretty soon that cell became like a part of me, or I became a part of the cell. Alcatraz was always classed as the end of the line, the point of no return. It was like going into the ground. You know, when you're buried, you're gone forever.
This is the rules of the cell house. Your cell is subject to search at any time.
Prisoners had a decision to make, whether to obey the rules or not, to do good time or bad time. That decision affected their lives dramatically.
An inmate is given housing, good food, medical attention, and all the necessities of life.
Everything else was a privilege. Time to exercise outside, getting books and mail, all had to be earned. One of their favorite privileges was the recreation yard.
The most pleasant place, I believe, on Alcatraz, and the most appreciated. The handball court, the horseshoe court.
Prisoners also played bridge out in the yard. They used dominoes instead of cards.
And they came out with a system called Auto Bridge, and you played it all by yourself. Guys got so wound up in this bridge thing that they ate and slept it. They'd go out there when it would be so cold that you didn't think you could stay out there, yet they'd stay out there for 3 hours and play bridge. And if you're occupied with bridge and you're studying bridge, you're not thinking about going over the wall.
Prisoners who chose not to behave ended up in a harsher place, isolation. D Block was the prison within Alcatraz, the treatment unit.
This place is going to operate on the basis that you do what you're told, and you're going to get a fair break. If you don't behave yourself, we're going to come down on you like a ton of bricks.
Unruly or violent prisoners were sent here. They stayed in their cells 24 hours a day. Typically, they were only allowed out once a week for a shower and exercise.
Now in this cell block, we have 42 of the least popular cells in Alcatraz. Although by far they are the best, the roomiest, and the nicest state-of-the-art cells that were available in this prison.
It was cold, it was damp. The wind used to just blow through there. You could hear it. At night you could hear it whistling through the windows.
One of the more infamous prisoners to live here in D Block was convicted killer Robert Stroud, the so-called Birdman.
And almost immediately upon his arrival at Alcatraz, he was relegated to the treatment unit. And he didn't bring his birds along with him, which made him very unhappy.
Alvin Karpus, you gotta watch out for him. Former public enemy #1.
Creepy Karpus. When you seen Creepy, you wouldn't have to be told he was creepy because he walked on his toes.
You had Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Nice fella, never give you any troubles at all. Very accommodating, polite.
Mickey Cohen, Frankie Garbo.
And Capone.
Ain't a fool with Capone, see? He was a street fighter. He's a big man. He was in good shape. The only thing, his brain was gone. He had syphilis. Well, eventually it drove him crazy.
When the cell was occupied, the regulations required that the light be on.
But we kept the lights off when they were in there. They were in the dark.
Well, when I'd go in the hole, what I used to do was I'd tear a button off my coveralls. I'd flip it up in the air. Then I'd turn around in circles. Then I'd get down on my hands and knees and I'd hunt for that button. Then when I found the button, I'd stand up, I'd do it again.
But if you would close your eyes, like right now, close your eyes and seal your eyes up with your hand, with a little concentration, you can see a light. And pretty soon that light will get brighter. And you got to concentrate on this. And after a while, not a short while, this takes time and practice, but pretty soon you can almost put your own TV there. And you can see things. And you can go on trips. And this is what I did.
This was the prison library.
You put your request on a library card. If the book was available, they'd bring it, put it in the bars for you.
Prisoners with reading privileges could subscribe to approved magazines.
And if it had some story by some convict out of Nebraska or something that was cut out, never mind that you might have been reading a serial and it was on the back of one of them pages.
Prisoners who behaved could also take correspondence courses.
Took a course from the University of Pennsylvania on animal husbandry. The gestation period for a pig is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days.
3 times a day, all the men in general population gathered here for 20-minute meals. Imagine 200 plus men, each armed with a knife, fork, and spoon. This was potentially the most dangerous room in the cell house.
I think about 3-4 men got killed with kitchenware.
At the end of 3 decades, over 1,500 men had served time on the rock. By then, Alcatraz had served its own time. After years of harsh wind and weather, the buildings were badly deteriorated. The isolated island was too expensive to run. And now in the 1960s, prison reformers preached rehabilitation instead of punishment. Early in 1963, Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy ordered Alcatraz closed.